Imagine watching this, and this, and this, and this. Now pause for a second. If you're like me, you're probably asking, what did I just witness? Welcome back to the channel, my friends, where we protect your metabolic health from head to toe. Or in today's case, from your eyeballs all the way down to your overloaded gut. Hi, I'm Dr. Tony Hampton. And yes, while most of you know me as Tony the Tiger, thanks to my carnivore lifestyle, after watching some of these mukbang videos, I think I'm more like Tony the Tiger's wild cousin. You see, as a carnivore, I eat like a tiger in the wild, infrequently, purposefully, and always with metabolic health in mind. By the way, tigers, they typically eat once every 2 to 3 days. That's right, a single meal can last them several days. Now compare that to what you just saw. We're not talking tigers, we're talking metabolic landmines. And today, we're diving into the mukbang phenomena. What it is, why it is so popular, and more importantly, what it's doing to our health. So where did this mukbang thing come from? The word mukbang comes from South Korea. A combination of 2 words, mukja, which means let's eat, and bang song, which means broadcast. Around 2010, content creators in Korea started filming themselves eating massive quantities of food while interacting with viewers. It quickly went viral, first in Korea, then globally. And now, millions of people worldwide are watching others consume extraordinary amounts of food. Sometimes 5,000, 10,000, even 20,000 calories in a single sitting, all in the name of entertainment. I must admit, before my audience requested this video, I wasn't very familiar with mukbang. But like any good doctor trying to understand his patients, I dug in, did my research, and well, here we are. So why is mukbang so addictive for viewers? One word, connection. Most people watch mukbang to feel less lonely. You get to eat with someone without actually having to cook, clean, or even talk. It creates what psychologists call parasocial relationships, one-sided connections where the viewer feels emotionally attached to the creator. Then there's the sensory pleasure, the autonomous sensory meridian response experience, abbreviated ASMR, which includes the slurping, the crunching, the chewing sounds amplified into studio-grade microphones. For some people, it's oddly satisfying. For others, it's even relaxing. And not to be overly dramatic, it's a weird blend of food porn and companionship. It's like having dinner with a friend who happens to eat 10 times more than any human should. And now let's talk about the part that brings us here today. Because as fun as it might seem, mukbang isn't just a harmless entertainment. Let's start with the portion distortion. Watching people eat enormous amounts of food normalizes overeating. It resets your brain's understanding of what a normal portion looks like. We see this every day in our fast food culture. Supersize everything. And here's where the mechanisms kick in. Every time we eat hyperpalatable, ultra-processed foods, high in sugar, refined carbs, and seed oils, our body responds with elevated insulin, spikes in blood sugar, increased triglycerides, fatty liver development. Over time, we're talking insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, obesity, hypertension, and yes, even type 2 diabetes. Let's not forget the food addiction pathway. Mukbang essentially hijacks the dopamine reward system. Highly processed food overstimulate dopamine release, creating cycles of craving, binging, and withdrawal. And of course, the withdrawal that comes with it. It's not that different from drug addiction. And while viewers watch this for comfort, some of the creators themselves are struggling. Many of them go through binge restrict cycles, dealing with disordered eating patterns, weight cycling, and even serious long-term health consequences. The YouTube algorithm might love mukbang, but your pancreas, not so much. Now let's compare that to how I eat as a carnivore. As I said earlier, I eat like a tiger. Tigers feast and fast. They don't graze all day. They eat nutrient-dense food and then they rest. On a typical day, I have a feeding window between 12 and 7, sometimes even just 1 meal a day. And I feel great. I'm satiated. My hormones like leptin and ghrelin stay balanced. My insulin stays stable. My liver pancreas, and brain stay happy. But let's bring in my rope framework to fully evaluate mukbang through a root cause lens. The R for relationships. Mukbang creates artificial relationships with strangers online. Real-life relationships with family and friends are more protective for long-term health. The O for organisms that cause harm. The actual foods consumed, processed carbs, sugar, fried foods, seed oils, are filled with organisms that damage your gut, liver, brain, and your metabolic health. The P for pollutants that cause harm. The overactivation of your dopamine system with stress hormones and addictive eating cycles are invisible pollutants that disrupt your internal wiring. The E for life experiences that protect emotions. Instead of stress relief through digital binging, we need experiences that nourish, like cooking real meals, sharing food with loved ones, physical activity, meditation, spiritual practices, restoring emotional balance. Here's what I want my patients and you to focus on. Eat nutrient-dense, real food. Embrace simple meals that honor your body's needs. Build real-life relationships. Avoid hyperstimulating your brain with excessive content that encourages self-destructive behaviors. Practice mindful eating and savor your meals. Use life experiences, not food binges, to manage stress. Listen, life is full of temptations, from TikTok dances to mukbang buffets. But if we don't take control of our inputs, they'll control us. Mukbang might seem entertaining on the surface, but when you peel back the layers, you find distorted relationships with food, metabolic harm, and disconnection from what your body truly needs. We're not tigers because we eat like this. We're tigers because we're designed to eat with intention. Drop a comment below. Have you ever watched mukbang? Did it relax you? Did it disturb you? I want to hear your honest thoughts. And if you found value today, give that like button some love. Hit subscribe and click the playlist in the description to keep learning how to protect your metabolic health, one meal and one video at a time. I'm Dr. Tony Hampton, and I'll see you in the next video.